What's up, guys? Manny, Carrera, your real estate resource, and this is episode number 10 of Whiskey Wednesday podcast sessions, where we sit with entrepreneurs, influencers, movers, and shakers over a glass of some fine whiskey. Today, we're going to be drinking Macallan 15 year. This is one of my favorite whiskeys, probably one of the smoothest and most expensive, but it's really good. And I'm going to be joined by my guest. Now, my guest isn't drinking today. He's going to tell us why. But I'm going to be joined by an entrepreneur, business owner here in El Paso. This guy has really, took a lot of strides in the last couple of years that his business has been open, and we're going to hear from him. Juice Jerry, what's up, brother? Cheers. Thanks for being on the podcast. So he's treated me with some Dasani, right? You're not drinking today?
Not drinking today.
Nah.
Yeah, I try not to drink. I stay away from it. Yeah. At least when I'm in town. I do have I can't say that I'm 100% sober.
Right.
But yeah, I don't drink.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm the only one drinking in this room, but it's cool. So, really excited to have you on, man. When we started this podcast 10 weeks ago, we've already been doing this for 10 weeks. And when we started this podcast, we were really thinking about a lot of people in El Paso that have been influential, that have, kind of made it or made a name for themselves. And you were definitely one of those people that we mentioned. So we were always like, we gotta reach out to him. But I really think that you have a really interesting story, and I want to kind of pass it over to you, just so you can kind of tell the audience on iTunes and YouTube a little bit about yourself, who Juice Jerry is, and a little bit about what you do.
So my name's Jerry. Juice Jerry's just been my nickname for a long time, so it's just kind of stuck, and everyone just knows me by Juice. Everyone calls me Juice. So I own a private label supplement line. It started off with a clothing line, and that was my stepping stone into the supplement line. And in the past year, especially in the past year, it's grown a lot. I've shipped internationally. We ship about 600 packages a month.
Wow. 600 packages a month?
Yeah, we've had about a 40% growth from 17 to 2018. It's grown crazy. 40% in business is a lot to grow.
Yeah, even 10%.
If you're doing a 10%, your business is successful. So if you're doing 40%, it's crazy. You know what I mean? So we're literally, I think last year we were shipping an average about 120 packages. So we're doing about 120 to 200. I've tripled in some months. Yeah.
So is that kind of a consistent thing?
Yeah.
You're kind of seeing trends?
Yeah, and I think, February we did 600 packages. This month we've done 634. So this
nice, you're already having a better.
And last month I think we did 580. So it's pretty consistent.
Are these repeat customers, or
a lot of them is repeat customers. I do have a lot of repeat customers, and a lot of them are new customers. I think that the word about my supplements is actually starting to spread. So I have a lot of new customers coming in. I ship a lot to AP orders. So I ship to a lot of Army orders. I ship to Army bases every single day. And I think these people, when they're in those, when they're stationed in Kuwait or in Afghan or wherever they're at, when they go home, wherever they're from, which might be Virginia or wherever they're from, they take it with them, and then they start spreading it in their hometown.
Yeah, because they can't get it.
Yeah.
Unless they're calling you, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that the Army has really had a lot to do with the word of my supplements spreading a lot, because they go back to their hometown and I just start getting orders from all over across the United States.
So do you feel kind of word of mouth has been a big contributor to your
word
success?
of mouth, and obviously social media. You know what I mean? I think social media is what's really... I repost everyone's feedback. I think that the way that I promote is instead of hyping up my own product, I'll get a picture of a supplement and I get people's actual feedback, their DMs or their comments, and I put a picture of it over it.
Yeah.
So it's don't take my word for it. This is the actual feedback from real people. It's real reviews.
And I see that actually. I was checking out your story, and I saw that even on the podcast we asked you, you like to see what your audience wants to see, Because I know, and I'll ask you here on camera, how did that turn out?
It was good. I think it was 93% yes. You know what I mean? I think the people who said no was an accident.
Did you put it over here on the right?
Yeah, on the right. Yeah. So sometimes that happens. Yeah. But I like to interact a lot with my followers. Lately I've gotten so much feedback that I can't make them all to post. I repost everybody, but my inbox is constantly just being blown up with people sending me their positive, feedback on the supplements.
That's awesome. So you're kind of creating a culture too, within your own business, a culture of people wanting to share progress and wanting to share results.
Yeah, I think part of it also is that people like to get a shout out. People like to get, a repost. So I think it kind of created a trend, Even when I started that's how I started with the clothing. I think that's probably what got my clothing out there. Well, my name out there was Instagram, and I was reposting people, so people then all of a sudden started buying a shirt, throwing up, taking a picture and throwing it up, and then I would repost it, and then it just kind of a chain reaction.
Yeah, because I mean, shout outs are a lot, right?
Yeah, and even though I didn't have a lot of followers, people were still doing it just for the shout out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
People love that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So let's take kind of back. You didn't start with the supplements first. The supplements is probably the main part of your business now, right?
Yeah, it's always been my dream. But obviously I didn't have the money to do it. When I tried to start, I remember I had zero credit. I had no money, and I thought you could just go to the bank and the bank would just lend you money. You know what I mean? Right. So I had to really start from ground zero. But I guess if we can take it back even more, I guess to where it really started.
To the juicy days.
Yeah. Let's start from the beginning, because then I think we're kind of like going everywhere.
We are. It was okay.
But I think like we go back to the year like 2012, 2013. For people who've known me for a long time, I used to live in a house actually down here up the street downtown, and it was called the Papa House. You know what I mean? And so all we did there was, I lived there with a bunch of my friends, and all we did was just party.
Yeah.
And party and party and party. And so
I actually I've never been to that house, but I heard about it like years ago.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't think I can say anything that's criminalizing anymore. It's so long ago. But yeah, a lot of bad things happened there, right?
Right?
No, but yeah. So around that time, I was just partying a lot. And so it was fun at one point, you know what I mean? It was great. But I think after a while, it just kind of spiraled out of control. And so I was drinking a lot, you know what I mean? I was starting to drink. I would drink from like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like 4 or 5 days out of the week I was drinking. And then all of a sudden I started doing a lot of drugs, you know what I mean? I was doing a lot of coke, a lot of cocaine, I was rolling a lot. And I got stuck into that lifestyle. I got arrested a couple times for fighting and for, just drunk drama, and
right.
I think I hit a point where I just started getting really depressed, and I wanted to like change, but I couldn't stop living like that. You know what I mean? Every time the weekend would come, I was out there getting drinking, and I was just on drugs. It was just like there was no way out. You know what I mean? I just felt like trapped, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I'm not going to school, I'm not doing anything. Like I'm not going anywhere in life. You know what I mean? At that point, and I had
treading water.
I had 2 cases. I had an assault charge on me. I had 2 assault charges on me for fighting. I was going to court for that. And so it just really, everything that was fun kind of started turning really grim on me, And I think that that's when I decided that I wanted to change my life. You know what I mean? That's when I realized that, I had to do a complete 180 from what I was doing.
Right.
And I think I haven't really shared this with many people. You know what I mean? Because this is actually
you're about to share with a lot of people.
Yeah. No, this is actually only like the people who are closest to me know this part. But I guess the day that it actually changed was I remember it was on a Sunday morning, and I had been up all weekend. I hadn't slept. I was wired. I remember I was just sweating, cold sweats, and I was just like pacing back and forth in my room. And that house was a big house, and it was cool when there's people there. But when everyone left, it was just you were alone. You know what I mean? There was no one. Anxiety. Yeah. I remember it was like 9 in the morning. I remember just pacing back and forth in my room. I was sweating, and I just couldn't sit still. I couldn't sleep. I remember I got in my car, and I sat in my car, and I turned on the car, and I was like, where am I going? It's 10 a.m. There's nowhere to go. I just remember I guess if I can explain it, just a feeling of being just like desperate. You know what I mean? I didn't know what to do. And so I remember I started praying, and I said, God help me, God help me. And at that moment, I went to church like that, completely wired, hadn't slept, on drugs, sweating, you know what I mean? I remember, I didn't believe in God at the time, I had already like disconnected. And I went to Abundant. That's the church that I went to.
I grew up going to that church.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that was the biggest church. That was the biggest church. So that's just where I went. It was 10 a.m. I was like, I need that to be church service somewhere. And that's
like second shift, no? Second.
Yeah. And so that's when I went in, and I went in where I just walked in like looking down, I don't want anyone to see me, you know what I mean? But they obviously knew that something was wrong, because as soon as I sat down, like some ushers came and they sat with me and they're like, can we pray with you? I was like, yeah, sure. So, and that's when the change actually started. I'd like to say that it was like overnight, but it wasn't, you know what I mean? But
that's when you kind of took a step back.
I realized like, I was like, I need to like change, and because I had been trying for months, you know what I mean? I've been trying for months, saying, okay, I'm not gonna do drugs this weekend. Okay,
you just hit that.
And as soon as I had one shot, before I knew it, I was like totally just gone and doing all kinds of drugs. You know what I mean? And I was just like really like I couldn't stop. Yeah. And so I think what I started doing, I started going to church a lot, and I got out of that house and I got away from all that. And for the longest time, it was really hard because I was used to being at the bars and being at strip clubs and like, going on trips and just being wild, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From going to that to like trying to be sober, all of a sudden like cold turkey was, it was a complete day and night.
Oh.
Day and night.
Yeah.
So then, all I had to find something else to occupy my time with, and my release was working out, going to the gym.
So that's when you started getting into fitness.
Do you work
out?
Yeah. You work out, yeah.
A little.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so I always worked out, but I wasn't like consistent with it until I, you know what I mean? So I started spending my Friday nights at the gym, Saturdays at the gym, just working out. Were you
purposely going at night so you wouldn't go
out? Because it had nothing to do, you know what I mean? And I would feel so like, you know what I mean? It's just, I'm telling you, I mean, going from doing all these things and just, always partying, being around friends and strip clubs and bars and everything, like completely
separating yourself.
Yeah, because the thing is that when you get addicted to a certain lifestyle, you can't control it anymore. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as, okay, I'm gonna go to the bar, but I'm not gonna drink. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen.
And everybody says that.
Yeah.
All my friends say that.
Yeah, no, because I said this many times. Okay, I'm gonna go out and have one drink, or I'm not gonna drink tonight. Before you knew it, I was, back, doing all that other stuff. So I had to completely, disconnect myself from it, and that's part of the reason why I don't drink. Because even now, even though that I've been sober for so long, if I go out and I start having some shots, before I know it, I'm like. Back. It'll be
like,
8 a.m. I'm like, oh my god, you know what I mean? What did I just do?
Again.
I did it again. Yes. Yeah. So to
Jerry,
me,
not again.
Yes. And then I used to be really reckless when I would drink. You know what I mean? I was very loud. I was that obnoxious guy. I was a necio. So I just I started staying away from that.
Yeah.
So then that's when I started wanting to start a business. And that's when I went to the banks. And back then I didn't know anything, so I had zero credit. I didn't own anything, you know what I mean? And the bank was like, okay, well, give us $300, then we'll give you a $300 credit card. It's a secure credit card. You can start building your credit.
It, yeah.
And then 2 months later, I was like, oh my gosh, it's taking forever. Like 2 months. And then 2 months later, I was like, this is
trying to start business.
This is going nowhere, So what I started doing, I started going online, and I was searching for cheap supplements. So I would find like, stuff like Hide, like Pro Subs, or like these big brands, and I would find them for like $29. So I would order them, and most supplement shops have them for like $49, $50, you know what I mean? And I would go to the gym in my gym bag, and I would tell people, yo, I'm selling supplements. I have this one for $39, so it's like $10 cheaper from any other supplement shop.
Yeah.
And I bring it to you. You know what I mean?
Just selling value.
Yeah. So people would see me, and I think part of it, people were like, I guess, I don't want to say they felt bad for me, but they just wanted to support, you know what I mean? I guess they saw me trying to do something, you know what I mean? So then I started flipping supplements like that. And then I started tweeting it, and people were actually like buying from me. And so that money that I was making off profit of selling, cheap supplements that I would buy online.
You were like a drug dealer.
Yeah, I was flipping supplements, you know what I mean?
I'm listening to your story, I'm like, I have 3 friends that do that too. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, I wanted to start a supplement brand.
Right.
I would see these brands, like, I want to be one of these brands, but obviously I didn't have any money to do that. So what I started doing, I started messing around with some logos on Photoshop, and I had a friend who was really good at Photoshop, and he kind of started helping me out, and then I started printing tank tops. And I just wanted to start a brand, so that's when I started.
So you just wanted to start anything? Like, was there something in particular that took you to clothing, or
because it was the only thing that I was able to,
that you were into anyways. Right?
Yeah, and that I had the money to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any credit lines, I didn't have any credit cards, I didn't have anything. You know what I mean? So I had to do something that was within my buying power. And so I started making those tank tops, and I knew that I wanted a supplement brand, but I knew that I didn't. There's no way I could do it at the time. So I knew I was gonna have. There was levels to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, the clothing was a stepping stone. It was never like
a stepping stone in the same.
Yeah, in the same direction. Yeah, in the same industry.
Yeah.
And so when I started printing the shirts, I started to. I would go to the gym, and I would stop people who were walking, and I would show them the shirt, and I would be like, if I give you this shirt for free, would you wear it? People would look at it like, yeah, sure. So they would put it on, and then I would ask them to take a picture of you. And I would take a picture of them and I'd put it on Instagram. And
tag them.
Yeah. And this was back in this is like late 2013. So Instagram, like I said, was barely starting to pop.
This
you know
is
what I mean?
this is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Because it's like you understood where it could go.
Yeah.
Where it was
at
going to
the
go. Because
time,
right now, that's exactly how businesses that are starting should be doing it.
Yeah.
They should be giving out free shit.
Yeah.
And putting it on social media and blasting the shit out of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
getting
no.
that kind of fire going.
I think that when I hear people say making moves in silence, I think to me, personally, there's people who aren't doing anything, so they don't want to say anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you're starting something, you gotta ring every bell and whistle you get your hand on.
I agree.
Like, yo, look at my product. You know, I'm doing something, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're doing something in silence and you're starting from the bottom, like, people need to know. You need that exposure.
I think people say that too, just because there's a lot of people that talk and I'm doing this, I'm doing this now, I'm doing this, and it's like you never really did it, you know?
Yeah,
Master of none and jack of all trades.
But I mean, if you're doing something, you just gotta do it. You know what I mean? You gotta let it be known, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what I was doing, you know. I was giving them away, and so I would order cheap supplements. I would flip them. I'd make like $10, $12
Get
off
that
each
profit.
one. Get that profit into shirts, and then give it away. So it's like I was making zero money. You know what I mean? Because all the profit I was making making shirts I was giving them away, and I did that for maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 2 months. Maybe I did the first time was $400, the second time was about $400, the third time was about $400. That I would invest and give away.
And then no return.
No return. You know what I mean?
How did you feel for those 2 months? Did you feel like you were being stupid?
Yes.
Did you feel like
I doubted myself a lot. You know what I mean? I always I would always tell myself like, God, I mean, like, this is dumb. Like, you're making no money. This is not smart. You know, all the money you're making, you're just giving it away. And then, you know, I would look at people. Back then, you didn't really know of Lift It or any of these, or Gymshark. You know what I mean?
Right.
They were probably just starting off themselves. You know what I mean?
Or probably didn't even have an Instagram. They're like, should we get an Instagram?
Yeah, they were probably starting around the same time, or I don't know. Maybe they were already started. I hadn't heard of them yet.
Right.
You know, I'm sure they had started. I'm sure they've been around longer than I have, but I hadn't heard of them yet. And I remember that. I kept giving them away, and you know, I would see people wearing Nike and Adidas, and they'd be like, well, who's gonna want to wear your brand over Nike? You know what I mean? Like, who? Like, no one will. But eventually what it started like a trend, you know what I mean? I was, you know, always reposting people, and then people started taking pictures themselves and tagging me, and then I would repost them. So then it kind of created like a chain reaction. And
you went kind of viral by people just wanting the attention from you. You know?
Just to repost, or just to be part of that. You know, part of, you know, whatever everyone was doing, you know?
And that's, dude, honestly, like, that, I think that's so hard for people to even create, or businesses to create, because MLMs, like, I know MLMs, they're kind of structured in that way, you know? Like, hey, lose 10 pounds, post it on your social media and challenge 3 other people, you know, because I've done stuff like that too. Yeah. But it's not always as easy to start those trends. So what do you feel that kind of separated you or made you kind of, you know, actually go viral and kind of see that success?
You know what?
When you started,
I think I can't really tell you why. You know what I mean? All I know is that it happened. You know, I just kept reposting people, and people were just sending me were just sending me their pictures. You know, I think part of it was because I gave away so many shirts. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I was selling them from the beginning, no one was gonna buy them. No. Yeah, nobody would have bought them, but I literally gave away.
Because they feel like, why? Yeah. That's when they would probably ask, why would I buy your shirt for $10? Yeah. When I could go and buy this Nike shirt for $24.
Yeah. And so I gave away so many. I can't remember how many shirts. It was a lot. You know, it was over 100 shirts that I would give away, male and female. And then after a while, people started actually asking. They were like, "Yo, where did you get that shit?" Yeah. And then people started coming up to me. How much are they? How much are they? When people would ask me, I was like, I didn't even have a price from.
They're free. How many do you want?
15, 16, 17. I was trying to see how much people would pay.
They're for free. Yeah. I'm buying $400 a week in shirts.
Yeah. So then eventually people started actually buying them.
Yeah. So what do you like? All that that's happening, all the like negative, like I'm not making money. Yeah. Why would people want to buy my product? Yeah. Right? What made you keep going to the point where it was just like
actually and then
it worked?
Yeah, you know, actually, like one thing that I failed to mention too is that people would take pictures of me at the gym. Like other people would take pictures of me like giving away shirts or wearing my shirt, and they would make memes out of me. and it would be like the douchebag clothing line.
Hell yeah, bro.
And then people would like make comments like, I can't, or like they'd be like, this guy's an idiot, or I can't wait till he has to get a real job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of negativity, and in a way, I kind of like use that instead of letting it bring me down. I guess it let it fuel me. You know what I mean? Because it actually upset me, but I never said anything. I would never comment. I would never get into an Instagram fight. I would just ignore it. But it made me want to work harder. You know, and I
you have
knew,
to prove something now.
Yeah, and then the thing is like some people you'll know early on if you're cut out for school or not. You know what I mean? And I wasn't cut out for school. You know what I mean? When
did you realize that?
Oh, in kindergarten. You know? No, really.
Like, Mom, pick me up.
No. In kindergarten, I was that student who all the nurses want to put on medication. You know what I mean? I was always in the principal's office. You know what I mean?
Huh?
Yeah. I was that kid who ditched school, and I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? I used to ditch class all the time. I don't know how I graduated. You know what I mean? I don't know how I graduated high school because I was just such a slacker. You know?
Yeah.
And I went to college. I went to community, and I think I had about 40 credits. And I remember when I was transferring to UTEP, I remember I was gonna sign the paper to get a loan out, and I remember thinking, I was like, dude, like I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? I was like, I want to start a business, but I'm about to borrow money to get a degree, so I don't need a degree to start a business. You know, right. You don't need a degree to start a business. All you need is money.
Yeah, nobody goes, and I've always said that too. Like nobody knocks at your successful business door and says, hey. Where's your degree?
Yeah,
really quick. I know you're making a lot of money.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like you don't need a degree to start a business. So I was like, I'm about to get in debt to get a degree that I don't need a degree in. You know what I mean? In the field that I will, in what I want to pursue. Right. So that's when I was like, no. You know, I remember so dropping. I was like, no. And either way, I remember I would get homework and I wouldn't do my homework. You know, even in college, you know, they get to read. You know, so many chapters I would read the first page like, dude, I can't do this. You know what I mean?
Isn't it crazy that like I'd say like probably 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Those kids, because I was like that too, like fuck school, bro. Like I hated school, and I still went to college and everything, but it was more for my family. You know? Yeah. But nowadays, like in 2018, those kind of kids are like, oh, that motherfucker selling shoes and making $20 per pair. He's the next freaking millionaire. You know?
Yeah, it's because I mean, if you think about it, I mean, I think maybe 20 years ago, you know, having a degree. You know, would have been a determining factor if you were going to be successful or not. But now,
in certain fields too.
Yeah.
I mean, certain fields you need school, and we've mentioned this.
Yeah, but now with social media, you will find these like, you know, drug addict kids who are loudmouths and they have millions of followers and they're making more money than doctors now. Yeah. Over social media.
The Catch Me Outside girls.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Now,
so you know what I mean. I don't think that it is what it used to be. You know. Yeah. And so that's what. And I realized that. You know, I was like, I'm going to school. I'm not cut out for school, and I'm not gonna get the lifestyle that I'm pursuing that I want to live with a degree in business. You know what I mean? I knew I wasn't. You know, and either way, I was like, I gotta. You know, that's when I said that I was gonna, you know, pursue. I was gonna make it one way, you know what I mean? It's like you want to have a skyscraper, but you have a lot, and you have no tools, you have nothing. You're like, okay, I want to just
this
start.
Foundation needs to be built, but you just know you need a foundation.
Start. Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And so, anyway, so going back to what I was saying with the clothing, after people started buying them, that's when I was able to invest. I started making leggings, started making hats, I started making all kinds of.
You started
stuff.
diversifying.
Yeah, and I started making gym bags, and eventually I had enough money to invest into a protein. That's the first thing I did. I started a protein.
So what is that process like? Because that sounds like you need to be like FDA.
Yeah.
Have a huge warehouse somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, how can I put it? Okay, so like the first shot that I wanted supplements, I tried doing it the cheap way. So in other words, you can get supplements that are already made and they'll just sell them to you and you just put a label on them. So like black it's a black sticker on it? Yeah, and then that's your brand. And that was the first time. It was a cheap way. It's what I could afford at the time. I was like, all right, let's do it. And I got
so this was your first product
launch? The first test.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And when I tasted the pre-workout was terrible. The taste was horrible. The protein would clump. I took the pre-workout and it didn't hit me. I was like, dude, like, there's nothing here. You know what I mean? Like, and that's when I was like, I can't put my label on this. You know what I mean?
Did you at that moment? Did you already order like a shitload of?
I had ordered an intro. Yeah.
Okay.
It was maybe like it wasn't too much because I mean since it's not really your brand, You know what I mean? It's just like a label is brand. You're putting your label on it.
Yeah.
The minimums aren't huge. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I was maybe like $1,000 worth of supplements, but they were garbage. They were all garbage. And I was like, dude, I can't put my name on this. I was like, people are gonna try it one time and never try it again.
Not even in your next couple.
Yeah, exactly. So all that product, I threw it away.
Yeah.
It was garbage. It was literally garbage, and I was completely like, I was
dumped
so
it.
excited.
You really dumped it?
You know, yeah, because I wasn't gonna sell that.
Yeah.
There's no way I was gonna sell that to people. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I took it, and I was like, oh, this is horrible. It tasted horrible. It clumped. It didn't perform, and I was like, there's no way I can put my name on this and actually produce it. You know what I mean? People are gonna try it one time and never gonna come back.
Yeah.
And then the words are gonna go, oh, dude, this supplement suck. That brand sucks.
That type of word of mouth is the worst.
Yeah, it's the worst, especially
yeah.
because I mean, the first impression really is, you know, I mean, it's everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
When you try a product for the first time, that first workout, the first initial workout, if you don't absolutely love it, you know what I mean? It's not gonna be. You know what I mean? It's not gonna hit. And I hated it. So if I hated it, I can imagine everyone else was gonna hate it. So I was completely heartbroken. I was like, oh, this sucks. You know. So.
But that I think too is kind of like a pivoting point in maybe your life, because maybe somebody that only had those $1,000 to buy that supplement and make money off of it, they probably would have said, "Fuck it, let me just make my money, and then I'll try and get better later."
Yeah.
But you said,
yeah, I said,
you know,
there's
I'm
no
not gonna
way.
do that.
I was like, no. I mean, I understood that, you know what I mean, if I were to produce that and put my name on it, people were never going to trust my name again, you know what I mean?
So what was that next step?
So I went back to selling clothing, you know what I mean? I continued with the tank tops, kept growing that, and that was doing decent. But then I actually contacted, you know, I got a really good chemist, a formulator, who made me some really strong formulas, and he wasn't afraid to make them potent. You know what I mean? He was like, "How strong?" I was like, "Just strong." You know what I mean? Just, I want.
Let me feel.
Yeah, I want this to feel like someone just kicked me in the face. You know what I mean? And sure enough, you know what I mean. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail. You know what I mean? But I got a really good team. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? So obviously the minimums were a lot higher because I had to, you know, get the raw materials, you know, myself. Because when you get it from a company that already has, you know, product made, a lot of times, you don't know what you're taking. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what's in it. But when you purchase the raw, when you know exactly what's going in it, the product's pure. So all these raw materials. I mean, China is the biggest raw materials distributor in the world. You can literally order anything from China, you know, in raw material in kilos. So depending, let's say that you wanted beta-alanine, they'll say the minimum is 15 kilos. You know what I mean? So out of every ingredient, there's a minimum kilos you need to use, and then out of that, you get, you know, whatever. Let's say 1,000 units.
Right.
You know? And then I created my own labels. All my labels that you see, I don't have products now, but all my labels, those are all my ideas. You know what I mean? I created all the labels I have.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it's really cool. I think even just the brand name.
Yeah,
It's something that just like it catches your eye, and on your clothing too. I remember I actually was on social, on Instagram when I think you had started this.
Yeah.
So I used to see a lot of people at the gym wearing your clothes, and I used to see them all rocking your clothes, like a shitload of people.
Yeah.
And it was spreading like wildfire. Like everybody was like wearing your clothes. Everybody was trying to look for those shirts.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And I can tell you, I think what it was like I hit it at a perfect time, because no one was doing that at the time. You know what I mean? I can be kind of bold and say that I was the first one in El Paso. You know, I can say, or at least one of them. I really think I was the first one. I'm not gonna lie. I can honestly. I would be lying if I said that I didn't think I was the first one.
And if he wasn't, message us.
Right.
Whoever.
But I remember that's why it hit off like that. You know, and then eventually.
You hit that land grab. You had that land grab, and right now I still think we have it. We talk about it a lot, but on social media, it's just so cheap to even market a freaking ad.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. I mean, that's another thing that contributes to, I guess my success is that I run everything. You know, I pretty much make my labels. I design pretty much everything. You know what I mean? Everything's my ideas. Yeah, I have no middlemen. You know what I mean? Right. And everything that I do is on social media, which is free. You know what I mean? There's
no overhead.
There's no overhead. You know what I mean?
So
and
you have you don't have actual stores.
I do.
I do. Okay.
Yeah, I do. But it's minimum. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't. It's not like you know, a bar that has like 15 employees. You know what I mean? That have, music, DJs, and they have, utilities and
Lights
liquor,
and water,
and then people stealing, you know what I mean? Because a lot of bartenders don't even charge sometimes, or
Who are you? Bartenders that don't charge?
or sometimes they won't even key in and they just pocket the cash. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like money going all over the place. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, there's always like 4 owners for one bar. You know what I mean? And me on the other, I mean, I might work harder, but I run everything on my own.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Which I think in the beginning, because you're still considerably, when like if you look at a time perspective for a business just starting, you just started in 2014, 2013 getting into it?
2015 started the supplements. 2014 was the clothing.
It's 3 years.
Yeah. This is the beginning of my third
year. You're still fresh, you know?
Yeah.
And you're still seeing, I feel like you've already caught where you need to go in the direction that you need to go.
Yeah, no, it's growing right now at a just a crazy rate. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, compared to last year, we're shipping almost 3 times as many packages in 1 year.
What do you feel has contributed to that growth?
I think it's just the word of mouth. It's just people are discovering the brand. I really believe that my brand is a sleeping giant. You know what I mean? And people are starting to really discover it. You know, and so it's actually spreading. I'm having people. I've shipped international orders. Okay, I've shipped to France. I've shipped to Guatemala, Brazil. I've shipped to Norway. I've shipped to Germany. I've shipped all kinds of places, and then military bases all over the world and all across the United States. I can tell you I've probably shipped to every single state in the U.S.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
So, and that just says a lot, especially in 3 years.
It's growing, and it's just growing more and more and more each month. You know what I mean? I'm just like getting more packages. It just trips me out. But and then going and then to the name, the Juice Up name actually.
Yeah. So talk about that.
Yeah.
Because the name and the brand itself and the way you kind of put it on the clothes and even on your products, I mean, it just stands out, it pops out.
Yeah, it used to actually be spelled Juice Up. You know what I mean? Like actually juice up. And just the reason why I call it that was like suit up, so juice up, you know what I mean? Okay. And then plus, it was like I said, I was very one directional with my thinking at the time. So I would
I'm not gonna change it.
So it was like shoot up, you know what I mean? But I didn't really realize at the time that not everyone's gonna want to walk around and it says, shoot up steroids, you know what I mean? So when I trademarked it, my contracting attorney had told me, he's like, yo, somebody else already owns that name. Like, you're gonna have to change the name of your company. Juice Up.
Juice Up.
They're like, you're gonna have to change the name of your company. I was like, no way. I've been printing these. I already have 1,000 shirts, out there with this name on them. I can't change it. So, what I did, I substituted the U's with V's. So legally, it's spelled a totally different word.
So it's really.
It's really Juice Up.
J Vice.
Yeah. So it's really Juice Up. But when I trademarked it, I couldn't own that name. So legally, all I did was just put V's with U's, and so it was a total different word. So I was able to. So it looks the same. So like I said, it was a blessing in disguise because all of a sudden people didn't know what it was. People would look at it like, what is that? And then I used to have.
Made people ask questions.
I used to have 2014 on my shirts. I would say Juice Up 2014 because that's when I started the clothing. But then I thought about it. I was like 2014. I was like, what's gonna happen when it's 2015? You know what I mean? People are gonna be walking around with a shirt that says 2014 on it. So then what I did, I switched 2014. I made it to Roman numerals. And that's how you got that. The MMXIV juice tape.
Okay.
See, so if you look at it, the original would have been 2014.
We just decoded Jerry's arm.
Yeah, that's what that stands for. And most people would be like, would look at it like, what does that mean? Or like, what is that?
This is 2014.
And then Juice Up.
Juice Up.
Like literally Juice Up, but that's what people are like, J Vice VP and MMXIV. So that's
fucking badass though.
Yeah,
there's like some psychology behind that too, because people are now like JV. Like I asked you in the beginning, like, hey, should I say this or this? And you're like,
I'm telling you, people are completely clueless to what it is. You know what I mean? They don't know what it stands for. And so like it really gave it, I guess it sparked curiosity. You know what I mean? Right. So it actually brings attention to it. So like I said, it was a blessing in disguise. I was really upset at first, but then it all worked out for the better.
That's cool. Yeah. That's a badass story, man. And your success and the growth that you've had, it's really cool to see. Mm-hmm. Even though, I've only noticed from the sidelines. I've been watching from the sidelines and just from pretty much like, Explore page and...
I think in 2014, if I remember correctly, I'd have to look at my booking. But I think for 2014, when I started the clothing, I think for the entire year of 2014, I think I made like 19,000, which is like less than minimum. You know what I mean? It's like 18, 17. It was something. It was really low. And then
you let's clarify. Not because you were losing money, but just because you were putting everything back into
giving it away. And well, I mean, it was the beginning. You know what I mean? You know,
and that's crazy because you figured out the micro versus macro.
Mm-hmm.
Micro, where you said right now, somebody could have just started selling their shirts for $10 and struggled because a lot of people wouldn't have bought the shirts.
Yeah,
but giving it away, shouting people out for just wearing it, sparked that fucking interest.
Yeah, it started that chain reaction.
That macro, whether you knew it those 2 months in that you felt stupid or not, that macro was kind of unfolding itself. You know? And that's really cool.
Yeah, so like I was saying, like I said, for 2014, I think the entire year, like I said, it was like 17,000. Right now, I'm making like 60,000 a month revenue. You know what I mean? So I went from 12,000 a year to 60,000 a month.
You're growing.
You know what I mean? I went from 12,000. I mean, from 17,000 a year to like I think my highest week this month was like 15,000. You know what I mean? So what I did in 1 year when I first started, I'm doing it in 1 week now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And compared to last year, my best week last year would have been like 7,000. So we've had like a 40-50% growth from 1 year to the other. So if we continue the same pace, you know what I mean, by the year 2021, 2022, if the brand really like hits and it starts to really go viral, you know what I mean, it could be huge. You know, that's why I'd say that I believe it's a sleeping giant, and people are barely starting to like know what it is.
Well, numbers don't lie, you know, and I've been in sales for a minute. So as a business owner, how important do you think it is to know your numbers? I see your Instagram.
Yeah, I'm
and
always...
if you guys need to follow, where can we follow you on Instagram real quick for the viewers?
JVice VP, or it's JVice underscore VP.
So you guys follow him, check out his little stories on his main page, and there's on the second one, you're breaking down numbers. You're talking about business. You're talking about shit that, you know, people don't understand or don't even know anything about, but you're breaking it down for people on month over month, year over year. We did this, and this is what our volume went down over here, but the amount per order went up.
Exactly.
So to know your numbers, how important is that in starting a business and continuing?
I think it's great. I mean, you have to know how much you're growing, you know, and then also I think that I do it for marketing mainly, you know, because people are interested in that. You know, and then when you let people in like that, I actually have people who are interested in that. They watch my story just to keep up with it. You know what I mean?
Just to see the
growth, and they're like, "Oh wow!" You know what I mean? So I really like to interact a lot with my audience. You know what I mean? With everything when it comes to feedback or even just in sales. You know what I mean? I'll tell people, you know, this month we are like, you know, 100 packages away from breaking a record. Come on, guys. You know what I mean? Start putting orders. You know, but yeah, I really like to. I'm real open about that. You know, because I don't have anything to hide. You know what I mean? Numbers don't lie. You know what I mean? And like I said, you know, the growth is there. And so I mean, it's just I pray to God that it continues, and I believe it is. You know, it's gonna continue. But if it continues at this pace that it is, like I said, it won't be too long before, you know, Juice Up becomes a big brand.
Only a matter of time.
You know?
And that's insane, bro. You've really accomplished a lot in the 3 years.
You've
been doing it.
And well, actually, you know, I mean, I guess to go. I'm sorry.
No,
good job.
No, you're good. This is your podcast.
This is I had a thought that just came in because we kind of strayed away from what
I'm just here for the whiskey, bro. This is your podcast.
No, yeah, like I said, when I had that what is it? That first brand, when I had made those first supplements that were just terrible. I had gone back to the drawing board.
Sorry guys, I'm thirsty.
You know, there you go.
I see you drinking your water. I'm like, I want some water too.
No, I feel you. No, and then I'm going to the gym from here. So you know,
are you?
Yeah,
okay.
I have legs tonight. So
oh, shit.
Yeah, there's no way I could have. Yeah, no thanks. But what was I saying? Oh no, yeah. So then, like I said, I have a really good team. You know, and maybe when you know my brand, you know, goes big, I'll be more open. You know, with them, you know what I mean, and shout them out because I'm very grateful for them. Because they've been my friends. You know what I mean? They become more than a business partner. They become friends. You know what I mean? And we have a relationship. I have a friendship with these people, and you know they've seen me grow. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
And then they tell me like, dude, you have a lot of potential. Like we are very happy with working with you. But like I said, they started making me, you know, pure product. You know what I mean? Everything was made from the raw material, and the supplements started hitting great. The taste, the consistency, like when you go the cheap route, you're not gonna get anywhere. You know what I mean? But when you take the long way around, it might take longer. But if you do things right,
focus on quality. Focus on the people, the consumer.
Yeah, that product when that first product came in and I opened it, I was like, all right, here we go. And I tried that pre-workout and it just kicked me in the face. I was like, all right, let's go. And I hit the gym. After that first workout, I was like, that's it. This is it. You know, and sure enough, you know, everybody who tried it had the same reaction. So then people started talking about it. And I would talk about it a lot, you know what I mean? But when I started using people's actual feedback, and that's what I started used to promote was people's real feedback. Because this is real people, you know? Everything you see on my Instagram, posts, they're all screenshots.
You could be talking so much
I could sit
about
here,
your
exactly.
business, but when somebody else is saying it and somebody else is actually saying it, you
yeah.
got results.
Yeah, and then all these people are from different parts of the country. You know what I mean? I have no influence. They're not my friends. You know what I mean? These are just people who order from my website like, yo, your product is the shit. You know what I mean? And I repost it. That's when people started actually trying it because people doubted me for a long time. You know what I mean? People doubted it. People thought like, you know, so do you make this yourself? Or, you know what I mean? And people were like...
So where do you live at?
Yeah, no, exactly. And
you're at the Papa house, right? You're making supplements in the Papa house?
Yeah, you know, and so people would actually, they doubted me for a long time. You know what I mean? I even wanted to take my face off of it for a while because as soon as they associated my face with the product, like they just completely discarded it. Yeah, discredited it. They just didn't want to do anything with it. But then also a lot of people, you know, I think eventually I started having people who just didn't want to support. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
what do you think about that? Like, what did you feel?
You know what? I had a lot of people making fun out of me. A lot of people, like you have to have a tough skin. You know what I mean? People were always making fun of me. I was always in like the El Paso Facebook, what is it? The El Paso Gym Confessions page. People were always making fun out of me. You know, people were always making fun out of my clothing, my brand, my supplements. But I think when they started seeing that it was actually going somewhere and that it started blowing up, people started being quiet. Everyone started being quiet, and now I have nothing but I have a lot of support now. I have a lot of positive feedback. So I think that if you have that tough skin to push through the negativity, because everything has a small beginning. So if you have the drive to bridge you over the void of a small beginning to get to the other side, that's when
the why, the reasoning for you doing it.
Because a lot of people start, you know, but the small beginning sucks. You know what I mean? You're making no money. You know what I mean? It sucks not to have money. You know what I mean?
The right expectations.
Yeah, it sucks not to be able to buy yourself stuff. It sucks to like, you know what I mean? That all the money you're getting, the little money you're getting, you're just going nowhere.
And probably, and most of the time nobody knows it.
Yeah,
you're just
exactly.
doing it.
Yeah, people have
like,
no idea.
Jerry's making money. He's giving out free shit.
Yeah, because everyone's wearing it.
Yeah.
But they think they're buying it, but no, I was giving them away. You know what I mean? So people thought I was selling. No, I was just giving them away. You know, and then plus, then you have.
But you weren't really giving it away. You were exchanging.
Yeah, I was building the
network.
Name. Yeah,
exchanging network.
Yeah, I knew that I had to get people to wear it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then what I looked for, especially on Instagram, was really like fit people. You know, with a lot of followers, because people look up. You can pay for an advertisement on Instagram, and it'd be forced to be on someone's feed.
Right.
And though
somebody that doesn't have no interest in.
Yeah, and if it's forced, a lot of times it might catch their attention. It's a hit or miss, or they might just scroll through it.
Right.
But if you get someone that they follow, that they look up to, that they admire, and they post a picture, they recommend. All of a sudden they'll stop and they'll look at it like, okay, maybe this is worth it. You know what I mean? Right. If my if my idol's using it, I need to use it. You know, and
this is snippet.
Yeah, and that's what I started to look for. I started looking for people who had really good physiques, who had really good followers, and they would put on the clothing, and all of a sudden, you know, their followers wanted to, you know, also train with it.
Yeah. You focus on influencers.
Yeah, and actually at the beginning I used to give away. Now I don't have to. You know what I mean? Before I used to give away thousands and thousands of dollars worth of like supplements and clothing. I can tell you I hardly give anything away now. I do give away to like my close friends, you know what I mean, or to like, you know, certain girls here in El Paso who have, you know, a lot of followers, but I don't have to anymore. You know what I mean? I got a palette of product. It was the Miss Bikini. It's my newest pre-workout. In the newest flavor, it's called
Europe.
Well, Ibiza and Greece were on the list next. But yeah, so Cabo Mango just came in, and it was the first time I got it on Thursday. By the next Thursday, I had sold out the entire palette. You know what I mean? It was the first time.
How many are in a palette?
I had 500 coming.
500.
Yeah, usually that would last me like a month and a half. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And this time it went like, it was a little bit more than a week, but in 1 week I was already like, yo, we're out. We're gonna be out. So I have another pallet coming in next week in the same month. So this is gonna be the first time that I have 2 pallets of the same product in the same month. You know what I mean? I've had 2 products.
And they're most likely gonna.
Yeah, and they're gonna go. You know what I mean? I've had 2 pallets of different products. You know what I mean? But of the same product.
You've never had to do that.
Never.
It
was the first time.
How does that feel?
It feels amazing. You know what I mean? That it just hit off so great. You know what I mean? And every day people are just ordering and buying, and it's just crazy. Sometimes I stop to think, I'm like, damn, like I'm gonna run out of people that are using it. But then I hear people DM me from like, you know, just like Boise, Idaho. You know what I mean? They're like, yo, I just heard about your product. I heard it's badass. I ordered it. I love it. I'm giving it to all my friends. You know what I mean? So it's just like you think that you have a lot of people. You haven't even tapped into its potential. You know what I mean? There's millions and millions of people who still have absolutely no idea what my product is. You know what I mean? I feel like everyone knows it, but there's millions of people who still have never even heard of it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when I realized the potential.
There's a lot of people that haven't even heard of Apple.
Yeah, and that's crazy. I mean, and it all starts somewhere. You know what I mean? Just like Phil Knight, you know, the CEO of Nike. How do you start? He started as a college people. You know, and back then, oh my God, I really admire that guy. Because when I read his story, there was no social media back then. There was no Instagram, no internet, nothing.
No MySpace?
No. Phil Knight, the owner of Nike.
Okay.
This is back in like 1970.
When he made it. Okay,
yeah,
I thought when you were reading about it.
No. I'm saying when I read how he started his brand. And he made shoes in China. And the original name was Blue Ribbon. I don't know why he called it that. That was what he called it.
For Nike?
For Nike. Before it was Nike. And he would drive from college track meet to college track meet. So from city to city, he would set up a tent and he would display his shoes. And that's how he started his brand. So I think about the determination that he had.
Yeah.
It was like so much harder. You know what I mean?
Where Nike's at now.
Yeah, exactly. And me, I was complaining at the time when I had all these tools at my disposal. You know what I mean? I had social media, I had the internet, I had everything.
Bro, we have it so easy.
We have it made.
We have it made.
If you're not using the internet to make money,
you're missing out on a lot of fucking money.
Because business, you can have a multi-million-dollar company who has thousands of employees, who has to pay employee taxes, payroll, insurance, rent, all this kind of overhead. And even though it's a multi-million-dollar company, the CEO in the end might be taking home, you know, $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you can have a girl with an extremely successful YouTube channel and a camera in her garage,
and a fucking iPhone,
and making $5 million a year, and she is taking home more money than the CEO.
And
of the
all she does is wake up, put some makeup on, and talk to the fucking.
So what I'm saying is like if you're not using the internet to make you money somehow, then you're really losing out. And one thing that I always do, especially when I'm traveling or when I'm on vacations, you know, my website's always popping. You know, and I'll be spending money on one end and I go check my website and I have like money coming in on the other. So if you don't find a way to make money while you're spending money, you're gonna run out of money.
Make more money than you're spending.
because then otherwise you're gonna run out of money. You know what I mean? And so that's one thing that's awesome about a website is that it's open 24 hours. You know, you put a story here in El Paso and it reaches El Paso in the surrounding area. You know what I mean? Of people that come to it. You know, and then there's store hours, there's high rent, there's utility, everything. You open a successful website, the people that it can reach is unlimited, you know, the entire world, and it's open 24 hours. Yeah. So when you're asleep, you wake up in the morning, you already have orders from people that have been shopping in, you know, Kuwait or in Afghanistan or somewhere else. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, the internet is where it's at right now.
How do you feel? Right now, I feel like you're kind of talking a little bit about financial freedom too, like figuring out a way to have income coming in without you having to sacrifice or give your time, because that's really the most valuable thing, right? So, talking about financial freedom for the people listening, right? Yeah. That could say, because there's always people that can misinterpret or mix what we're trying to say or your story, right? So for those people that are saying like, you know, he just has money now and that. It's all about money. It's all about money. Is it really about money, or how does that financial?
I mean, obviously, you know, being able to buy things is awesome. You know, being able to travel and go to these places, and you know, but money buys you experiences. But to me, it's always just been about my dream. You know, I've always wanted to, you know, like I said, I've always wanted to own a big brand of a big supplement brand. So I think now that I see it as actually coming true, you know what I mean? It's like when you know, plant a seed, you know, and it might take, you might water it, it takes time, and it just kind of, then you see it sprout, you know what I mean? Then you start seeing it to actually grow and get bigger. You're not gonna, it's not about the fruit anymore, it's just to, like, you know that it's growing, you know what I mean? And you see all your hard work that's actually starting to bear fruit, so then you start working harder, and motivates you more.
You start watering it.
So even if I wasn't, let's say that I wasn't making a whole lot of profit, I would still be working just as hard just to see my company grow, you know what I mean? Because it's always been my dream. So when you start to see your dream actually become a reality, it drives you, it motivates you. You have to completely love what you do.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so because I mean, I think if you're doing something for money, you know, but if you hate it, it's gonna suck. You know, but if you're doing something that you love, even if you're not making a whole lot of money, you're gonna love your life.
Yeah, it's all about being happy. I think at the end of it, you're doing this to be happy.
Yeah.
You know, to find that happiness, and this is what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Real estate makes me, you know, fucking jolly as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta do what you love. You know, because if you don't know what you do, then you're it's just gonna suck. And I love the fitness industry. You know what I mean? I live at the gym. You know, and in a way, I've gotten, you know, I like being sober now. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't like drinking anymore. You know, every once in a while, like I said, I still drink, especially when I go out of town, of course. You know what I mean? But it's not something that I do often.
Right.
You know, if I slip up, it's like every once in a while. But yeah, no, it's definitely not.
No harm in every once in a while. So real quick for the people that are viewing live on Instagram, Facebook, what is probably one of the biggest lessons you've learned in the last 3 years of starting your business and going through all the stuff, all the adversity?
Definitely I'm just telling you, is just never give up. You know, I actually just posted a story actually a couple of days ago. It was from this weekend actually. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll build up to it. It's just, you don't give up, because you never know how close you are to a breakthrough. You know, like I said, when you first start something, you're gonna have a lot of people doubting you. You're gonna have, the small beginnings are hardest, but you just gotta work through it, you know. And once you start to work through it, it will start to grow, you know. And once you start seeing, you know, all that work that you put in start to bear fruit, it just motivates you to keep going. But I was actually, I was visiting this girl at work this weekend actually. She works at
Tiger.
At Tipsy Tiger. How did you know?
Oh no, I didn't. I said Tiger.
Oh, Tiger. Oh.
Okay, so she works at Tipsy
Tiger. I was like, what?
Oh no, you just gave it away, bro.
No. So anyways, so I was visiting her, and then what ended up happening was that this lady came in, and she was like an older woman. She was like 60. And she was selling those single roses.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, the blonde lady.
Was she? Yeah, blonde lady.
Yeah, she's always there.
Okay.
Shout out to you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, there you go. I mean, if she were to hear this, you know what I mean? I saw her and I felt bad for her. I was like, dude, it's late. Why she's out here with this big bouquet of flowers?
Yeah, she's there every night.
I was like, that sucks. You know what I mean? She should be at home, you know, resting. So I was like, when she comes to me, I'm gonna buy all of her roses. You know what I mean? I'm just buy them all so she can go home. You know? So I was waiting for her to come, and I saw her going one by one. And everyone just kept saying no. And then she got to like where he's at, or maybe about a little bit further back, and I saw her make eye contact with me. She looked at me, and she turned around, and she walked away.
She saw the no.
And I was like, lady, I was like, yo, like I wanted to call her back, because I was gonna buy all of them just so she could go home, you know. And then she just walked away, you know. And to me, that was like a perfect example. It reminded me of like, how many times has people been so close to a breakthrough? How many times have you been so close to actually making it, and then you just give up at the last moment?
Yeah, because
if she would have just walked, 10 more feet, I was gonna take all her roses.
She just finished asking everybody.
But yeah, and she looked at me, and then she's like, oh, he's probably gonna say no and walked away. You know?
That's fucking deep.
So to me, that was like, when I saw that, I was like, wow. And I actually posted that on my Instagram. I talked about it, because it really reminded me of me also when I first started. Because there's so many times where I wanted to quit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I first started with the clothing, when I first started with the supplement, I mean, when I was printing on the shirts. I always doubted myself, you know what I mean? Like I said, it was a small beginning, you know what I mean? No one knew of my brand. I was like, who's gonna want to wear it?
And I think as a startup too, people don't look at your product.
They don't respect you.
They're looking at like, oh, well, I saw you at that one party.
Yeah,
Why
no,
the
yeah.
fuck am I gonna, you know?
And they just don't respect you. You know what I
Right.
mean? They have no respect for you because you haven't, you know, earned anyone's respect. You know what I mean? And especially when you're not making any money, and all the money that you are, the little money you are making, you're giving it away. It's very discouraging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very discouraging. And so there was a lot of times where I really thought about quitting. You know what I mean? And I would think at night, I was like, how am I ever going to do anything with this? Like, is this ever going to go anywhere? Is this ever going to catch on? Like, what if it doesn't catch on? What if, like, oh, this is pointless? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to, like, shut all those thoughts up. And
All the doubt,
yeah, you
right?
just,
It's
all the doubt, you got
fucking
to just go balls out. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter what it is, what you do in life, as long as you devote yourself to the perfection of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if you cut hair, you know what I mean?
Be the
Just
best.
go be the best at be the best at it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? There's a person out there who's a millionaire out of picking up people's trash. You know what I mean? You know, who
Yeah.
started a company picking up trash, and now he has all kinds of trash cans and rents out bins and
Now
everything.
he
You know what I mean?
fucking
Yeah.
owns his garbage.
You know, the same thing with barber. If you're a barber, you're a badass barber. You build up your clientele. You start your own brand. You know, before you know you're a millionaire. You know, it doesn't matter what it is that you do, as long as you do it, that you're the best at it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I just devoted myself. I said, all right, you know what? I don't have no safety net. I have no college degree. I'm not doing anything. I just got to devote myself 100% to it.
Right.
And so I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing until where it's at now.
Yeah. And that's what, you know, I've talked about a trend that we've seen on Whiskey Wednesday.
Mhm.
This is our 10th episode. But every single person that's been on the podcast has, you know, I always ask that same question. Every single person has said that same thing. Because everybody's gone through that shit, you know?
Mhm.
Every single successful person in somebody's eyes has had to go through all the no's and the doubt and the failures and the fucking long nights thinking, what the fuck am I doing right now?
Oh my
you
god,
know?
I used to take endless nights just
Yeah.
wondering if I was ever gonna do anything. You know what I mean? I used to worry about my future. You know what I mean? And then I had a criminal record. I have a criminal record.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even my lawyer, after my case was closed, asked me. He's like, "So do you have a job right now?" And you know, I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Are you going to college?" I was like, "Well, no." He's like, "Well, it doesn't matter anymore." He goes, "Because with this on your record, he's like, even with a college degree, you have a very hard time getting a job." You know, my lawyer told me he's a cool guy. His name's Derek Wyatt. Derek Wyatt.
Oh, Wyatt. Yeah,
Derek Wyatt. He's really cool. I like that guy. And he was just straight, he just straight up told me. He's like, "Look, if you're going to
Don't even go to college, man.
yeah, that's what he told me.
Save yourself some debt.
Yeah, no, he pretty much told me, he goes, even if you go to college with your record right now, you're not gonna
You
get a
can
job.
be a fucking doctor. So
yeah. He's like, you're not gonna use that.
So that's still even more.
Yeah, it was more
for you, right?
motivation because I was like, God, I'm telling you, I had no safety net, I had no college, I had a criminal record, you know, and I had nothing going for me at the time, and then that's why I was like, you know, I just gotta go balls out.
You just went all in.
All in,
You
yeah.
fucking
We just
go
went all in. I had nothing.
That's the most, like, I think that's what makes all these people that are successful.
Mhm.
The guy from Nike and Apple, everybody that's built these big brands, it's going all in, even when there's no fucking money coming in, even when people are down you, people are talking shit.
It's because like when you're at the bottom, you know what I mean, and you have nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's
You're already at the bottom.
there's no options.
Yeah, you're already at the
Yeah.
bottom, so it's like, you know, the only way is up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you know,
Yeah.
so you just gotta crawl your way out. You know, and so I think that when you start something from the beginning, like, I mean, I can honestly tell you that I started Juice Up from scratch. You know, I Juice Up was literally a tumbling thought through my mind at one point. You know what I mean? Before it was a drawing on a paper, it was just it was in my imagination.
Yeah.
You know, it was just something that I would daydream about. You know what I mean? Thinking like, man, one day it'd be great if I owned a company, if I owned my own brand, if I had my own brand of supplements, if I could ship all over the world, if I could ship all over the United States, if I had people from different states taking it. It was all in my imagination. But it's so much more satisfying when you actually build it yourself than when you have someone come and give you the money to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? But when you're there, you wish you had someone to come give you the money. You know what I mean? There was so many
You're
times
looking for the easy way out, but then you make it, and you're like,
it was so much
so
better.
fucking
Yeah.
happy that I had to struggle.
Yeah, one thing that I used to always think about was like, God, man, I wish that someone would just come and give me $1 million so I could start my brand, or someone would just give me
And
100,000
how
here.
fucking likely is that?
Yeah,
to
yeah,
ever
you know,
happen?
and that's all you're wishing for.
Yeah.
You know, it seems so like what you would want, but when you go through the hard work and the tears and those sleepless nights and all the mocking and all that, and you make it out to the other end, and you actually start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah.
you're like, wow, this is so much more satisfying. When you go and you buy yourself your first, $140,000 car, you know what I mean? And you come out with your own car and like, this is your car, you bought it, no one co-signed, this is your money, you know what I mean?
You had no credit 3 years ago.
You had no credit. I couldn't even get a $300 credit card, and all of a sudden I'm over here signing for a $140,000 car. You know what I mean?
That's insane.
So all that is actually really satisfying.
Yeah.
And then when you start, one thing was when I was a kid, my dad worked really hard too. You know what I mean? But when I grew up, pretty, I guess I don't want to say poor, but just lower income. You know what I mean? And I remember growing up as a kid. My dad, he did what he could for us. You know what I mean? But I never went shopping. Like I went shopping twice a year, which was like Christmas and the beginning of the school year. I would wear my shoes that were ripped. You know what I mean? I wore the same shirt.
Duct tape it up.
But the thing is like when you're a kid, you don't know that. You know what I mean? But I never went on vacations. I never no Disneyland, none of that. And then now that I actually get to travel and I get to buy myself clothes and go to these places, like I'm really taking advantage of it. You know what I mean? I'm really enjoying it. You know what I mean?
You have to, man. I mean, you worked hard for it.
Yeah, and I mean, even my dad still like he's like, you spend so much money on traveling. You know what I mean? You take so many vacations. Or like, why don't you like? I was like, no. You know what? What's the point of me having $200,000 and if I die and it stays there? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of that? I want to go to the grave with experiences. I don't want to go to the grave with money in the bank.
Because all you have at the end, I mean, fucking moments, bro. Moments,
exactly.
Memories,
it's how they say. It's not the years in your life, it's the life in your years. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, I guess, when you think about it, being a more responsible, more of a, I guess a smart perspective, the smart thing would be to save money and invest, you know what I mean? But I've enjoyed it everywhere that I've gone, all the things that I've seen, you know what I mean? I wouldn't trade those memories for anything, And Definitely. If you blow money, you make more, you know what I mean? That's what it's for.
As long as you're
harder,
making it.
Work harder, keep growing and keep growing, And I really feel like I said, I can know that I know. Because faith is believing and speaking things that have not come to pass. You know what I mean? And I really believe in the law of attraction. I really believe that what you speak over your life is what's going to come.
Definitely.
If you tell yourself that you're a failure, if you tell yourself you're not going to do anything, you're not going to do anything.
That's your narrative.
Yeah, but you could be at the bottom, and if you... And I'm not saying to be a douchebag and get on Instagram and post pictures of Lamborghini, 2019 Lamborghini, you know what I mean? Or pictures of mansions, You don't have to, but if you speak it to yourself and you believe it to yourself, you actually believe it, you will get there eventually. You're going to work towards that. And I know for a fact that my brand is going to be a big brand one day. I know. I just know it. And God has blessed me a lot. He's opened so many doors for me, People always congratulate me, like, oh, congrats. But it's like, you know what? I put in the work, but God's the one's, behind the scenes pulling all the strings. You know what I mean? And I always tell people, if I hadn't gone to church that day, we started this podcast, if I hadn't gone to church that day, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd probably be some lunatic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'd be in the same routine.
Yeah, I'd be 130 pounds, drug addict. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always give God the credit for that. Always, always, always. Because if it wasn't for me going to church that day, my life would never have changed.
What message would you say or give to somebody watching, listening, kind of going through that same point in their life? Because I've actually gone through that. I think everybody does. I think everybody goes through that point where you are caught up. You're caught the fuck up in some dumb shit. Mm-hmm. You don't know how to get out, and even the thought of getting out is just impossible. You know. So somebody that is going through the depression or through drugs or through just something a certain routine that they know is toxic, but they're still in and they can't get out of.
The only thing that I can tell them, because it's what worked for me, is seek God. Bottom line, because I had tried myself over and over and over and over countless times. I would tell myself, I'm not going to do coke this weekend. I'm not going to roll. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to drink. And it was just a total failure. I just could not stop. You know what I mean? I was there at 7 a.m, leaving the strip club all wired, coming to do more coke in my room. You know what I mean? Just horrible, And like I said, the thing about that is that lifestyle is that it's sweet. But when you stay in it for too long enough, it turns bitter in your mouth. By the time it turns bitter in your mouth, it's too late.
Yeah.
When you don't like it anymore, that's when it's too late. You're hooked. And a lot of times it's not that you're addicted to where you can't stop because you start shaking, but you get addicted to a lifestyle. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you start
craving it more.
Yeah, and then because you don't know anything else, and then when things start falling apart around you, it almost seems impossible to get out. You know what I mean? Like I told you, like I was going through 2 courses. I mean, I was going through two cases, you know, and it had nothing going for me at the time. You know what I mean? And it just depresses you more. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, I tried myself countless times to change and I couldn't. You know, so if someone is going through that, the best thing that I can tell them is, you know, because it worked for me and it worked for anyone. You know what I mean? Is go to church. You know, if it wasn't for me becoming a Christian in the first place or seeking God, I would not be here right now. I know that I'd still be out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd be a nobody right now.
That's powerful, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and like I said, I've gone through that. I think what I did to kind of get through it was, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I think over time, I was just something that I kind of faded away into, you know, like I kind of just got over.
I think it also depends on people's personalities.
Yeah.
Me, if people know me, like people who know me personally, who know me like really good, know that that I have an addicted personality. You know what I mean? If you keep up with my Instagram stories, my cars, I drive them really fast. You know
I saw that.
I drive them really fast.
You're racing Corvettes.
If I have a
So what do you
car,
drive? What do you drive? If you want to share it with
mainly my GTR.
GTR.
That's my baby. And then I have my Corvette that one's pro charged. I put about $25,000 into building that Corvette engine. So that Corvette has a lot of power. But the GTR.
How many horses is that one pushing?
I mean, the crank is about 700. You know what I mean? And the GTR is about 700 too. But the GTR is a lot faster. I can't explain it. I don't know why. It's just, I guess, the way the car is built. But I just love the GTR. But I mean, I'm always driving really fast. So if I have a fast car, I'm gonna drive it as fast as I can. If I drink, I'm gonna drink till I pass out. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that I do, I mean,
you're just an all-in type of
yeah,
guy.
I go all in. Like there's no like, you know what I mean?
If the speedometer goes to 180,
Yeah,
I have to
I'm
go to
gonna go-
180.
Yeah, that's just the
Yeah.
type of person that I am. If I like somebody, if I like something, I pursue it.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I am. Like if I like, I mean, and even with people, you know what I mean? Or even like if I like a girl, I'll pursue the girl till she becomes mine. You know what I mean? Like that's just how I am, you know? Or, you know, I just go after things that I like, and when I like something, I latch onto it. You know what I mean? And you know, it could be a good thing and a bad thing when it comes to substances. I won't let go of something. You know what I mean? And I have a very addictive personality. So you know, some people don't. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's some people who can do drugs and stuff like that, and they can quit. You know, I've heard of people going cold turkey, and it's just like, you know, some people can.
So
you know?
I actually went cold turkey. Not cold turkey so much, but I stopped eating meat.
Okay.
And I fucking did that shit like within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know? But some people can do it, some people can't.
Mm-hmm.
I know people that have been just trying to get away from chicken for like 3 years. And it's like,
For like 3 years.
bro, it's just one of the animals that you're eating. But that's crazy. So right now we're live, and I think we have some questions, right?
Yeah, we do.
We have some questions for Jerry.
You did answer a good amount. Like a lot of people wanted to know how you started, and you answered that. I think one of the only other different questions that I saw here was if you have any investors.
I do not. That's one thing that I've always been against 100%. You know, I built this brand by myself. You know what I mean? And I'm very, very, very particular with the way that I like to do things. I'm very particular. Everything you see in my branding is 100% me. The wording, the pictures, the colors, everything from head to toe, ideas. And I don't like people being able to tell me or give me their. I appreciate people's input, but I don't like people being able to tell me we should do this, we should do that. Because I've had a lot of people approach me trying to invest. You know what I mean? And people who are wealthy, who have thrown numbers at me that are sound, you know, they're appealing. But when I start talking to them and they're like, we should do this with the brand, we should do that, I'm like, no, there's no way. You know what I mean? Because I like to do. I run my brand the way that I want. You know what I mean? So I would never be able to take someone's money and then be able, even if they're a hands-off investor, I would never want to be able to have someone else own part of my brand. You know what I mean? And I, quite frankly, I don't believe that I need it. I think that if I were to take an investor, it'd be obviously like I don't want to call it a shortcut, but it would be obviously quicker, just to get me to where I'm already going. But I know I'm going to get there eventually. You know what I mean? So I don't take investors, and I don't ever plan on going public. You know, where people can own stock. You know what I mean? Because I mean, just like with what's his name, Steve Jobs. When he owned Apple. You know, once he went public, they kicked him out of his own brand.
Yeah.
Imagine you imagine Apple, and it becomes this huge,
this entire fucking thing.
yeah, it's a multi-billion-dollar company,
it.
and then they just take it away from you, your own company.
Right.
I would never want to be put in that situation.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
How old were you when you got started?
I was 24. 24 when I started. I'm 28. So yeah.
Who asked that?
Peter. Peter
Peter.
legit.
Peter legit.
Yeah, I was 24.
Do you think kind of tying into that question, do you think it's ever too late to start?
No, it's never too late. But the sooner that you start, the better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the sooner you start, the younger you get to enjoy it.
The best time to plant a tree is 25 years ago. Right?
Yeah, because I imagine if I had just stopped partying and wasting so much money on drinking and doing all that nonsense, because it literally accumulates to nothing. It amounts to nothing. You know what I mean? It doesn't. If I had started this when I was at the age of 20, you know what I mean? And let's say my brand would have already been growing, then by the time Instagram hit, it would have just hit a new level. Who knows where I'd be right now?
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're never too late to start. But the younger you start, the better. The younger you get to enjoy. The fruit that bears from the work that you put in.
Yeah. And I think too, even it doesn't even matter how young you start sometimes, because you can start at 19 and have 10 years of lessons and learning compared to somebody that starts at 26 and then is successful in 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
Because they're just at a different mentality.
Yeah, I mean that can happen. You know what I mean? But one thing that I can tell you is that business takes time. You know what I mean? And it comes with any company. You know what I mean? With any brand. The first year is gonna be the hardest. Of course, some people are more business savvy. You know what I mean? Some people are smarter than other people. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can have, just like a perfect example is, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of how McDonald's started. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The McDonald's brothers. Yeah. You know what I mean? They owned one McDonald's, and they were very successful at it. But they were closed-minded. Yeah. And this outsider came in and he saw it like, yo, I could do something huge with this. And what do? You know what I mean? So you have two people, and one has is more business minded, and what do? He eventually took the brand away from them. But where did he take McDonald's? If he had never come, we probably would have never tasted McDonald's. Nobody would have known McDonald's. Unless you were there, living there. You know what I mean? So it all depends on the person too. You know what I mean? Not everyone is cut out for it. Just like how not everyone's cut out for school. Not everyone can go to a school and become a doctor. Right. You have certain gifts. And so I think the thing is that people need to realize what their gifts are, and instead of following other people just because they're being successful at something, they need to find what they're gifted at. Exactly. You know what I mean? Just because I see someone being, really successful at being a barber does not mean that I'm gonna go and start cutting hair. You know what I mean? Because that might not be my gift. You know what I mean? And I always have people sometimes DM me, ask me that they want to start a brand of supplements, and I go through their photos and they don't even work out. Right. You know what I mean? And it's like you want to do something because you see someone else be successful at it. You know what I mean? But you can't live someone else's dream. Right. You have to have your own dream, and you have to pursue your own dream, because you have your own set of skills and tools that someone else might not have. Right. Yeah, you gotta stay in your lane. I think stay in your lane. Yeah. Focus on your own strengths. I think that's a problem. I think with a lot of people, just in general, I don't want to say I say El Paso because I live in El Paso. I'm sure it's everywhere. That's everywhere, bro. It's everywhere. It's just New York is good pizza. Yeah, New York is. Yeah, New York is good pizza. I'm actually gonna go in 2 weeks. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, dude, I love New York pizza. Send you this place. But okay, going back to El Paso. I love Ardovinos. That would be like the pizza place. Restaurant, I love. What is it? Anson 11. The steak is so good in Anson 11. Yeah, Anson. I love the steak. And then for like my everyday eating. I have to give a shout out to one of my friends, but it's Evolution Fit Foods. Yes, I love Evolution with Mondo, and then Chipotle. I eat Chipotle all the time. Just because it's fast food, but I don't feel guilty eating it. You know what I mean? Because I get my chicken, I get my black beans, my rice, and I'm good. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get my black beans too. I love black beans and rice. I eat it almost every fucking day. It's good. So. Shout out to Ardovinos. Ardovinos is really good. I think pizza places though, for sure. Every weekend, dude. Bro, for sure, you need to try Cafe Italia. I think my favorite though, still, I don't know. We've had this debate for a while, but I think Grimaldi's, bro. Grimaldi's is really good. I love Grimaldi's, but I'm still gonna go Ardovinos. I just think Grimaldi's, even down to the cheese, the sauce, you know what? I love the cheese. Quality. I really do love the cheese and Grimaldi's for sure. Shout out Grimaldi's. No, Grimaldi's cheese is good. But what I like about Ardovinos is that big pepperoni. They have those big giant pepperonis. So you're just talking about stuff I can't have, bro. I don't know. Because he doesn't eat meat. Oh, what? You don't eat meat? Yeah, I told you right now. I just said. Oh yeah. You did. Yeah, I don't eat meat. I get the margarita though. The margarita's the shit. Margarita's good. That sucks.
Yeah, it's my life.
No, it doesn't suck. I'm sorry, dude. That's bad.
No, it doesn't. Like for me, honestly.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
No, no, no.
I
don't even go fucking Carrera,
that
bro.
sucks, bro.
You ate a fucking taco.
No, just kidding.
No, it's hard for some people, I think.
Yeah.
Because some people still crave it, and I'm not gonna lie. Like I was even talking to one of my friends the other day. She always eats tacos in front of me, but I've been like looking at it, and I'm like, it's gross. But then like.
You know, I mean, like one thing, like one thing that I love is like when I go out of town is like having authentic street food. Because when you eat food inside the resorts, like it's really good food, but it's like eating at an expensive restaurant.
Yeah.
But when you go out into the streets, like when I went to the Bahamas, you know what I mean? They have totally different food. You know what I mean? They have stands outside and they have meat prepared in different ways you've never seen.
Bahamas is that one.
Or in Tulum, actually. Oh, I love Tulum. Tulum has like this strip of just nothing but restaurants at night, and everything's like candle lit. Everything's like lit with like Christmas lights, and the food is so good. The tacos, it's really, I mean, you go from going, you know, you eat inside the resort, it's like $100 for a steak, and then you go out into the streets, you get like all this food with agua frescas and everything. It's like $2. You know what I mean? $2? Are you serious? Here's $5, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and it's great.
It's
food.
crazy, huh?
Yeah, I love eating. I don't think I'd be able to be a vegetarian.
Yeah, really, I know. I hear that all day.
No disrespect.
No, it's all good. It's the life I chose. It's fucking life I chose.
True.
But cool, man. Really excited again for people to hear your story, and thanks again for being on our episode. For you guys watching live, make sure you guys tune in next Wednesday. Full episode of Whiskey Wednesday podcast session, episode number 10 with Jerry. Juice Jerry is going to be dropping on iTunes and YouTube. For those of you tuned in live, shout outs to you guys, and again, shout out to everybody that's been watching and keeping up with our progress week by week. Any last words?
No, I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we did. This is a badass podcast. I'm super excited. So, again, shout out to everybody watching at home, and we'll see you guys next week.